Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're working on the Yamaha XT250. My Cyclops Adventure Sports headlight went out on the low beam setting, and I thought, hey, might as well try out a new product that people really like. The JNS Engineering LED headlight kit. I bought mine from Rocky Mountain ATV-MC. Let me show you what's going on with the bike. So, usually the light's on, but only works on the high beam setting, so I don't know, don't really dig it. So gonna swap that thing out for the JNS and see if I like it more. I've heard some really good reviews about it, so let's get started. Should be pretty easy install. There's one bolt on this side, one bolt on this side, and then this cowl is going to come off, and then I think there's 3 bolts on the headlight housing. We're going to rip off that old Cyclops Adventure Sports light, and then it should be a direct drop-in. If I remember right. Let's see. Should be a direct drop-in. Yeah, it's a complete unit, and I think they even give you some hardware, replacement hardware. Sweet. Yeah, so instead of the Cyclops Adventure Sports light, which uses your factory headlight housing, your headlight bucket, this one has its own housing, and it uses like projection beam technology. And it looks like it's an H4 connector with a little red pigtail. The instructions are pretty simple. Yep, headlight wiring, blah, blah, blah. Yep, tighten the 3 bolts. So they provide the 3 bolts, but they don't provide any thread locker or anything like that. I'm not sure if you're supposed to use thread locker, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt. If you use thread locker, just make sure you use the right type. Don't use red. Use the blue. Alright, so this cowl bolt right here is a 5mm Allen key, or a 5-point, whatever you want to call it. I just have them on a little ratchet because it's easier that way. These things notoriously get lost if you're off-roading. You can buy them on Rocky Mountain ATV-MC under the OEM parts finder, along with this little spacer washer that comes in here. I think it's like $6 for the pair of them. But if you put a little bit of blue Loctite on those, it'll keep you from losing them. So, but that's up to you. Sorry about the lens flare, by the way, guys. I'm in Southern California and it is full sun. So that's a really great time. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Of course, I have a little, not aftermarket, but I have my, what is this thing called? My fairing. You gotta lift the little clips on the bottom, and then this thing should just pull right out, assuming you clear the side markers. Yep, so if you lift the little wings on the bottom and then you pull forward, you're gonna get caught on your side markers. Of course, I have my little Tusk Adventure, my Tusk tire roll on the front. But yeah, you can just go ahead and pull this thing off and it'll expose your headlight. Alright, decided to move a little bit. So now we have 3 4mm Allen bolts on the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position. We're just going to go ahead and loosen those up. Easy peasy. Hope your guys' day is going well, because mine is going great. I think it's a pretty easy removal and install if I remember correctly when I installed the Cyclops Adventure Sports one. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then this will be my backup. Or I'll sell it on the eBay for half price. Because half of the function works. Alright, let's see here. Come on now. Alright, and let's not drop our light. Okay, let's see how we did this. Did I zip tie anything? I did zip tie stuff. Okay. Alright, so we got our ground plug right here. We're going to go ahead and not disconnect that, because that's not how that works. I need some cutters. Some scissors ought to do the trick, I hope. That zip tie's ancient. There you go. All right. Let's see how we did this. Yeah, just unplugs. Okay. So we have our, looks like our ground right here. I have no idea how this went together. Here's the plug. Let's pull this thing off. Oh, okay. Well, that just unplugs. Sweet. All right, guys. So now that we have these out, let's go ahead and compare them. With the old unit, with my Cyclops Adventure Sports, I replaced the bulb itself using the existing headlight housing and the bracketry. The JNS is going to be its own standalone system. We don't need to use any of this, including the bucket, the bracket. It should be plug and play. As you can tell, the bolts all line up to where they should be, or the brackets line up, and we just use the supplied bolts and washers from JNS. The one weird thing is the H4 connector from the JNS unit has this little red pigtail. I don't know what this goes to. Nothing in the literature says what it goes to. It just says plug in the unit. The old Cyclops Adventure Sports pigtail didn't have that, and it says nothing on here. It just says connect the JNS headlight to the XT250 headlight wiring, and that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably tape this thing off, because what I think it is if you want to run another JNS product, so for example their LED side markers or some of their spotlights or something like that, you can kind of daisy chain them to this. So I don't know. In the meantime, I'm going to cover it because this is kind of loose and I don't want a short to happen. So I'm just going to electrical tape that real quick. And then other than that, this is just your standard H4 housing, or H4 connector that goes onto the headlight factory wiring harness. All right, so now that we're back at the bike, what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and lay it on the fender since I don't have a partner. We have the factory harness right here, and then the JNS harness. It just clips right in, and then we'll use the supplied bolts to screw into our bracket here. The bracket is notched a little bit, so you can tilt the direction forward or back. But let's do it. What is this cap for? What's that do? Good thing I dropped it. All right, should be simple enough. Using the 4mm, we're just gonna tuck. Okay, should be simple enough. We're going to tuck our wiring right back here using a 4mm Allen key. We're just going to slide our light into position. Just get everything finger tight for now until we can move on to the next one. So there we go. There's one. There's two. And then here's three. Seems simple enough, right? So just for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of center it in the middle, and then I'll dial it in a little bit further later on when I'm kind of happy or unhappy with how it performs. When in doubt, go middle of the road. So super simple. You just kind of push it and then tighten. And do it on the other side as well. we tighten the bottom. Okay. Before we get too far putting everything back together, I always like to test things out, make sure it works. So let's go ahead and try it out. Low beam. Ooh, whoops. So we have our low beam, high beam. Both of them work. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Both of them work, low beam and high beam. So let's go ahead and put our fairing back on, and then we'll peel that paper off. Actually, we'll peel it off right now. How about that? How about we do that together? You and me. Okay, so now all we have to do is put our fairing back on. There's these two rubber grommets right here, and our fairing has these little pegs that made up into those holes, and then these little wings that snap back onto it. I took off my my whatchamacallit, as you can see, my Tuss fender bag. So let's get those in the rubber grommet first, tap those wings down, and now we can go ahead and install these bolts back in there. Dang, that thing looks good already. Once again, it's a 5mm bolt. Screws onto here with the included spacer washer. Not included, but the factory spacer washer. Once again, I get all of my OEM, like nuts, bolts, and parts and everything like that from Rocky Mountain ATV MC. I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but what they do have is like the OEM parts finder is what they call it. And the OEM parts finder essentially just lets you do everything by a diagram. So you can literally just look at the front of the bike and then choose, hey, I need this particular nut and bolt and washer, and this is what it's called. This is the factory Yamaha name, the Yamaha part number for it, and it really is a very good website. And that's where I got this JNS headlight from as well. But anyways, other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this helps you out, and it looks amazing. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and until next time, peace out.